keep control of the crucial waterway, warning that Israel's constant attacks on Lebanon are violating the ceasefire agreement. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agreeing to hold talks with Lebanon in Washington, D.C. next week. Talks between the U.S. and Iran expected to begin this weekend. First Lady Melania Trump's surprise appearance in front of cameras, blasting reports linking her to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, what she is now demanding.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
ROTC cadets described the moment they took down a gunman during a terror attack. Their instructor, already wounded, still fighting the shooter. In his first televised interview in the U.S. since leaving the Biden administration, we sit down with the former Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin.
I certainly don't believe we've seen a regime change. We've seen a leadership change. I think the regime remains intact.
Authorities detaining the husband of a woman who claims his wife fell off a boat and was swept away in the Bahamas. Her daughter now sharing the voicemail she says her stepfather left her after her mother disappeared. A school board member is censured for an inappropriate comment to a female student. Now he's refusing to step down. Fidel Castro's daughter, Alina Fernandez, joins us to talk about her experiences in communist Cuba and life on the other end. And countdown to splashdown. The crew of Artemis 2 returning in just about 24 hours following their historic trip to the moon.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is Prime with Lindsay Davis.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Juju Chang in for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are tracking that tenuous ceasefire in the Middle East, but we begin at home with that bombshell moment at the White House. First Lady Melania Trump's surprise appearance in front of the cameras, blasting reports linking her to Jeffrey Epstein. The First Lady insisted she had never been friends with Epstein, was never one of his victims, and said Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. In a moment, you will hear what she's now saying about emails she exchanged with Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. Those emails were released as part of the Epstein files. And also tonight, word from the Epstein victims in a letter saying they aren't happy with Melania Trump's statements today. Mary Bruce leads us off from the White House.
Late this afternoon, the extraordinary moment at the White House.
Good afternoon.
First Lady Melania Trump coming before the cameras to deny she had any relationship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, accusing unnamed people of, quote, looking to cause damage to her good name.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
The First Lady insists Epstein and his accomplice, convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, were not her friends.
I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell.
The First Lady addressing the emails she exchanged with Maxwell, released as part of the Justice Department's Epstein files. In October 2002, Melania Trump writing, "Dear G, how are you? Nice story about JE and NY Mag. You look great on the picture. I know you are very busy flying all over the world. How is Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you are back in NY. Have a great time. Love, Melania."
My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence.
The First Lady emphatic that Epstein did not introduce her to her husband, the president.
I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998.
She says she had no knowledge of Epstein's crimes.
I have never had any knowledge of Epstein's abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island.
The president has called the Epstein story a hoax.
I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats.
Urging Americans to move on.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else.
But today, the First Lady declaring it's time to, quote, work openly and transparently to uncover the truth.
Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone.
Melania Trump saying all of Epstein's victims should have a chance to testify.
Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth.
And Mary